I imagine Hans Zimmer watches movies and is just like, I could do a better score, and then he sits there and just.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. There's no way he is, and that's kind of like something that I thought was actually really interesting when I finished, and it was actually kind of funny because after I finished that project, I was like, did I just ruin movie music? Did I just ruin score music?
Welcome, everybody, to Casting for Two, the podcast, as always, hosted by me, Chris. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 365. Great show for you guys today. Wonderful guests. Of course, if you would like to let me know how I'm doing, feel free to drop me a follow on Twitter and or Instagram, both at Casting for Two. Or if you like the podcast, let me know. Give me a little review on whatever platform you listen to. I'd super appreciate it. But yeah, this wonderful guests today. They are the two heads that create the band that is known as Kid Nobody. I got Michael Wilson and Jesse Carmichael on the podcast, and they have a new EP out right now, Discretion, and I recommend you guys going and picking it up because I think it's great. And we had a lovely chat, and you know what? I'm done talking because we need to get into this episode, all right? So everybody sit back, relax, and Michael and Jesse, take it away.
Hey, Chris. How's it going?
It's going on. It's going well. It's going well.
Cool.
I'm feeling that, like afternoon, evening sluggishness.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that'll happen.
It's amazing how you hit a certain age and it's like, you know what? Naps are actually really nice.
Right. Yeah. What time is it where you are? Or where are you?
Yes, I'm in San Antonio, so it's the central time for me, so it's 5 o'clock.
Oh, all right.
Where are you located?
Right. Los Angeles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm on the call too. Yeah, Michael is here as well.
Hey, Michael.
Want to introduce me?
How
are you?
Oh, good. I thought it was just going to be one person. Now we got the all the guys. That's awesome.
We're going both. Yeah.
There we go.
I live in Big Bear.
Oh, okay.
Which is like a mountain city, like 2 hours outside of LA.
Nice. Who was that? First of all.
Oh, this is Michael.
Michael. Okay. And Jesse, where do you live?
I live in Highland Park in East Los Angeles. Yeah.
Okay. So do you find that where you guys live influences the music that you write?
Yeah, for sure. I would say so. We both grew up in the same neighborhood, kind of like suburbs of Los Angeles. I feel like, your upbringing and your environment definitely plays a big part in kind of forming your musical intuitions, I think. I feel like it does. I feel like it definitely. I don't think you can get away from it, but I wouldn't say I see like as clearly like a through line. I'm not like. I don't necessarily think I write or am affected as much as I think I am. Like as far as like content
and like how I make it. I guess it's just I'm just doing it for so long that I've just been so consistent that I haven't really noticed, especially now that I live like kind of in the mountains away from everything.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly just a focus thing. There's a lot less distraction, so I just do it more.
Nice. And so I'm curious when musicians find their thing. When did you guys, and I know you guys are going to have different answers, but when did you guys know music was something you wanted to pursue?
I mean, for me, it started pretty young. I kind of grew up doing kind of around the arts, doing a lot of like acting, singing, dancing, musical theater, stuff like that, like from a pretty young age. So I was kind of always around music. And then in junior high is when I first started like learning how to play guitar, and then I switched to drums. And I had a moment, I remember I was listening to K-Rock, which is kind of like the big, rock radio station in Los Angeles at the time. I heard the song Zero by Smashing Pumpkins for the first time, and like something in my mind just kind of clicked. I was like, wait a minute, I didn't know you could do that. Like that's a whole other thing. I want to do something like that. So there was kind of like and then from there I just, kind of went down the whole, playing instruments and playing in bands and stuff and doing that whole route.
Nice.
And then I guess for me, I would have to say I started playing piano really, really young, and I think I was just really intrigued by. I don't really have very many musicians in my family, so they had a old upright, and I just like. I wasn't afraid of it, and I just it was so enticing to me, and I feel like music is probably one of the only things in life I'm not afraid of like engaging with. I feel like I second guess like a lot of my decisions, but whenever I play music, it just feels right, and it's like doesn't matter if it's good or bad. I just feel like I'm not. Like fear isn't really a part of the equation with it, which is like then like what gets me through a lot of days and years and decades.
And you said you guys grew up in the same neighborhood, so would it be safe to assume that you guys were jamming together at an early age, or was it that thing of later in life you found out that you lived in the same neighborhood and you both happened to play instruments?
I mean, we met, pretty early on, and then, maybe started jamming together, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years after that. But we kind of knew each other beginning of high school, and then hung out, and then sort of like towards the end of high school, and then early like college years is when we started like messing around on music stuff together. But it was pretty casual to start and just kind of like friends, messing around. And then maybe like 8 years ago is when we kind of like started really like kind of going full time, making music together.
Okay. And so, because you guys, I was reading the bio, and one of the things that I love, like I have a film degree, I love movies.
Nice.
Part of the thing that I love about movies is, of course, the whole score aspect. And I saw you guys had scored a movie, and I was just wondering, that process, was it different for you guys as far as making music versus scoring movies?
Yeah, I think I ended up doing most of the scoring, and then brought Jesse in to help on a lot of the bigger production and engineering, like on some of the bigger pieces, which actually ended up making it on the EP as like an instrumental track, like a 20-minute song that we put on the end of the EP. So it's like a 40-minute EP, which is really funny. But yeah, I absolutely like loved it, because it's just so much content, and like you're just on just a content high for, you know, a month or so of just inspiration and just getting to work every day. And then I'm definitely the kind of person that is content driven, so I didn't really have a problem with the director being like, no, yes, maybe, no, you know, like there was just a lot of material that didn't ever see the light of day. But I don't really consider that a loss because I've used a lot of it, and we've used a lot of it in and around Kid Nobody and kind of other projects. But yeah, scoring to film is super tricky and it's extremely difficult. I don't really, it was like a first try for me, so I think I did okay, but I don't really, it's so hard to, it's kind of relative, right? Like we wouldn't know if anybody could do a better job unless they scored the same movie, you know?
Right.
So yeah, but I really, you know, in the end, like the director was really happy, which I felt like was a success. Like
right.
I felt like that was probably the best thing I could feel, because I guess it was, to me, it was such a big undertaking that I knew that there were going to be some pieces that I didn't like and some I did like, you know. But I think in the end, I just kind of, it was just a nice way to work, to try and keep a level head about music, because when you're just the artist, it gets pretty heady sometimes, you know. It's just like, okay, write a song, you know, and you're going to stand behind it, and you're going to be the one to sing it, versus like, okay, here's the movie and here's the visuals. Like, what is the best partner with this? You know,
right.
it just kind of focuses up so you're not the center of it, you know? So.
I imagine Hans Zimmer watches movies and is just like, I could do a better score, and then he sits there and just...
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's no way he is, and that's kind of like something that I thought was actually really interesting when I finished, and it was actually kind of funny, because after I finished that project, I was like, did I just ruin movie music? You know, did I just ruin score music? Because then I started watching movies, and that's all I could, you know, that's everything I could hear. And
I've done the same with, I've done a lot of TV and film, like licensing music stuff, and once you start to get into that world of like what kind of songs work for what, like commercials or shows or whatever, then yeah, you can't look at a commercial or a TV show and not analyze the soundtrack and what's going on, and then if you could have done something better or similar.
And it's very much so like that with music too, where, you know, any store I walk in and the music is relatively like audible, I just can't. I can't focus.
Yeah.
Like I'm like the worst. My wife will be in like Target or something, and there'll be music playing, and she'll just see me staring off in space and like asking me a question. She'll be like, "You don't like this song, do you?" Like, I'm having a really hard time focusing right now.
Yeah, definitely happened. Like, yeah, my wife, same thing. So they, hey, like, let's relax and cook dinner. Like, you want to put on some music? And I'm just like, no. Like, if I put on music, I'm just going to work mode and I just analyze it and like pay attention to the production and everything. And it's not necessarily like something I do for fun anymore, which is maybe kind of sad. But
we are cooking in silence tonight. You hear me?
Yeah, always. Spoken word, podcast, only.
Oh,
maybe some light classical.
See, I couldn't, and you know, again, I'm not a musician in any sense of the word, but whenever I do anything, I'm always listening to music. Back at one point when my Mac was still alive, I would listen to music and podcast at the same time, just because I liked. I don't know. I felt like you know, certain songs would motivate me or set the tone, but of course, I was the only one who could hear it. So,
right, sure.
It's a lot of information for your brain to process.
Yeah, I couldn't even. Yeah, there's no way. I can't. Pretty much the only thing I can do and listen to music is drive a car.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just like when I listen to music, that's like just what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because I do it like even with like work or things like that. It just the work suffers, and I just don't. It's just a bad situation.
In high school, I had a mini disc player, and that thing like changed that thing changed my life because I would ask the teachers if I could listen to music, and they're like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." So whenever you saw me in class, I had one ear listening to music and one ear, towards the teacher. And I remember one teacher was just like, "Are you even listening to me?" I go, "Yeah." And then I recited everything that they said, and they were just like, "Fair enough." And then they kept teaching, and I was just like, "Yes, that's what's up."
Nice. So you're like really smart then.
No, not really.
What kind of music are we talking about on the mini disc?
Oh my gosh. On the mini disc, it was a lot of Foo Fighters. That was number one.
Okay, so you're not listening to like instrumental classical. You're listening to like full blown records.
Oh yeah. I used to listen to Limp Bizkit as well, and Queens of the Stone Age and just all that. Yeah, that's what I would listen to.
All right, so you were banging out in the back.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was a rebel, but I still got my homework done, so I guess I wasn't a rebel. I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, what was that?
I'm sure your parents appreciated that. Can't go too far.
Yeah. Oh, I grew up Catholic. I'm not going to do anything bad. Are you kidding me?
There you go.
But I'm curious. What is your guys' writing process like, and how has it changed from back when you two were first getting started to even writing the newest EP?
Currently under construction.
Yeah. It's an ever evolving thing. That's for sure. It's kind of, I guess, traditionally started, I think Michael is definitely more of like kind of the raw stream of consciousness, like traditional songwriter situation of, getting down lyrics, melodies, concepts, and then I'm more of kind of an arranger, production-minded person that kind of like combs through all of the ideas and tries to rework them and do stuff. And that's kind of, we've done a lot of work over the years kind of working independently and sending stuff back and forth. And then, just as of recently, I feel like our writing style has taken like a dramatic shift, and now we're writing songs, together in a room from scratch in a way that we haven't really ever done before, and kind of starting with the basics of lyrics and melody as opposed to starting with a beat,
like a developed
idea.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I think it's kind of funny because I think it started there, which is actually really funny because I feel like we kind of, in essence, maybe have like a part or something and go over it. He'd hop on the drum kit, and we'd play and do whatever. And then because of technology, I think it just became easier, and the way we work, because we get like so involved and independently involved in the work that we were just felt capable to work that way. Like we didn't necessarily need to be in the same room, and we trusted what each other were going to do, and we trusted our communication, that sending over stuff and having him be like, no, I don't like it. Once again, I'm not taking it personally. I know it's not a pride thing, and I trust him. And I think just recently getting back to writing in a room together, it's more about just efficiency. We're just being able to write something in the same space, and also like coming up with ideas and whatnot where someone can be like, yeah, I like that, but no, I don't like that. You have a lot less attachment to it because if you like say you wrote something and you have a week to listen to it and work on it and form it, and you show it to someone and they're like, what if you changed this or did this? And it just kind of has a completely different dynamic than when you're in a room, you come up with something and somebody says no or yes. You just have a lot less attachment to it. Mm-hmm. And so you're able to just keep moving and keep working. And it really is the best way to work. Getting in the room with people is just so amazing because it can just really show you whether or not it's going to work out or not, you know?
Yeah, and ironically enough, I feel like we've done more writing in the same room together as of recently, and we've never lived further apart.
Yeah.
Which is pretty interesting. All of a sudden, we're, finding this new kind of style of writing and getting together, and it's less convenient than it ever has been, but more important, I guess, maybe.
Totally.
Okay. And you mentioned it earlier, the new EP is coming out soon, very soon. By the time this is heard, it'll probably be out.
Yeah,
but
7.
But you mentioned there's a 23-minute track. And I was listening to it, and it's very beautiful. But why? Why did you feel like you wanted to put the 23-minute track on here?
Man, that's a good question. I think kind of going back to the film score thing. Michael had all these clips, probably 25, 30 clips of music. Some that were used in the film, some that weren't, and I kind of had access to them. And at one point, it was just like, man, we can't just not use these.
Yeah.
So started messing with it and kind of viewing it as its own little, kind of dreamscape soundtrack, instrumental score thing, and started chopping them together and making a thing. And then I think part of it too is also just a statement for us of kind of being able to do things our own way and do something kind of ridiculous, like do a 23-minute instrumental song that maybe no one will ever listen to or care about, but it was something that was really fun for us to work on together and make, and kind of just having that control of okay, this is our EP, we can do whatever we want, there are no rules. If we want to do this track, we can. And it's something that we both love, and a lot of pieces of music and a lot of really special moments are kind of buried in there. And, kind of whether people get it or not is sort of beside the point.
Yeah, I think for me, it was also just a really great way for us to step out of our comfort zones and, as far as fidelity or continuity or being, fitting or not fitting. I guess I felt like this was more, like Jesse said, a statement that says we love to play and write instrumental music, and we feel that in the Kid Nobody realm, a lot of this was made, and so it wasn't so drastically different. I mean, it just feels like there has been talk about possibly even using some of those clips for future Kid Nobody songs, which is actually really interesting and fun to think about, doing a little tease or something of stuff that we can use in the future. I just really love cluing people in on the process and not being so precious with music and songs, because I just feel like today I feel like there's people on both sides, and it's really polarized, because I guess I just fall on the side where it's man, there's just so much good stuff to be made. Just don't think about it too much and do what feels right. And usually, in the end, you just sleep a lot better, to be honest. Yeah. So I guess I just and also it's just really nice to do something a bit ironic and seemingly on a business side really silly. Putting out a 10-minute song, stream-wise, or it makes absolutely no sense, and that's kind of why it's so special to us, because it really just makes sense to us. And we didn't have any A&R record people breathing down our neck to be why the fuck would you do that, or so it's been really refreshing, because we literally haven't second guessed it or thought twice about it since we decided to do it. And another side note about it is the process was really fun for it to be made, because I don't know if I should tell how we made it, or just leave. Okay, all right. The process is really rewarding. Without giving away too much, basically when we finished it was the first time we heard it back in its final Yeah. So.
Okay. Well, because I saw that and I was just like, man, that is genius. I just thought it was a funny but just awesome thing to do, and I mean I enjoyed the whole track. So if anything, you can say at least one person enjoyed it.
That's true. Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
That's
but
amazing.
But
I should also clarify, sleeping better at night thing only applies to me because Michael doesn't sleep. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I get to sleep better at night, but Michael wouldn't know. No.
But for the people at home who want to keep up with everything that you guys do, pick up the EP when it's out, where can they do all that?
It'll be on all the streaming platforms, Apple Music, Spotify, etc. We're on Instagram and Twitter, and we randomly will post photos and updates on there. I think the handle is at YouAreKidNobody for both of those. And then February 7th on all the streaming stuff. The EP will be out and available.
Yeah. And we should start playing some shows soon.
We should. We do have a website itself, though, but I don't know if anyone still uses those. And I actually don't even know what's on it right now, so probably smart not to direct people there.
There you go. Well, still, hopefully you guys do play shows and make it out over here. Like a 23-minute song set, Look, that's all you need.
We'll just come to your house, Chris, and just do that for you. And then,
I'd be fine with that. Yeah. But thank you guys for stopping by. Seriously, I like what you're doing, so keep it up. And
thanks for having me.
Of course, yeah. Anytime you guys want to come back, just say the word. All right.
All right, we'll do. Sounds good.
But you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.
You too, I guess. Bye.
Bye-bye.